Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. And today I've got a video for you that's mostly naval history news, a little bit of pictures worth 1,000 words. And this doesn't really have anything to do with the United States Navy or Battleship New Jersey, so it's a little bit out of our normal purview. In today's video, I want to talk about this recent article put out about North Korea's new destroyers. North Korea is building 4 guided missile destroyers. They're calling them destroyers. Based on their weapons capability, they probably fit in that queue, but they're significantly lighter than other destroyers, either from contemporaries in Asia or in Europe, Australia, the United States. They're on the smaller side. About 450 feet long, 50 feet wide, 5,000 tons. So they're kind of between frigate and destroyer in size. But they've got phased array radars, they've got guided missiles, they've got anti-submarine, anti-ship, and anti-air capability. So that kind of multi-domain capability puts them closer in the destroyer category. So North Korea probably isn't too off referring to them as that. The first 2 ships are believed to have been placed in commission last month in June of 2026, and 2 more are believed to be under construction. This marks a pretty remarkable step forward for the North Korean Navy. Traditionally, the North Korean Navy has been a purely coastal defense force with very little offensive capability and very little capabilities outside of area denial. These new destroyers have some capability of projecting power off North Korea's coast and are said to even be able to carry nuclear missiles. North Korea has traditionally been at the mercy of its enemies when it comes to sea. North Korea has very little maritime trade, and during wars, particularly between the United Nations and North Korea, the Korean War, the United Nations was able to largely blockade North Korea and bombard its entire coastline, landing troops at will and evacuating troops. So landing troops at Incheon, evacuating troops at Hungnam. Like the United Nations' ability to use the sea and then to project aerial power from carriers at sea and to be able to provide naval gunfire support from ships like New Jersey at sea was really decisive during the Korean War. Notably today, South Korea operates one of the strongest navies in the region. And while it's far from the largest, it has some incredibly capable ships, including the King Sejong the Great class destroyers, which may well be the most powerful destroyers anywhere in the world right now, and plans to build something akin to the Arsenal ship that the United States looked at back in the 90s, a really heavily missile-armed ship that would have the ability to essentially bombard North Korea or provide air defense against Chinese or North Korean missile attacks. So it's interesting to see that North Korea is looking to challenge either the United Nations in a future Korean conflict or South Korea with ocean-going naval warships. Now, the part of this that I find really newsworthy is this picture right here. This picture almost looks AI generated on account of it's got several guns in it firing. It looks almost like CGI from a movie. But it is in fact, as far as we know, a real picture of weapons tests being conducted on the second of the 2 North Korean destroyers, Kang Khan, as she's doing her weapons tests probably a month or 2 ago. The takeaway here is the sheer number of machine guns, Gatling guns, small automatic weapons being fired. Now, each of these appears to be remote controlled, much like weapon systems like the current Mark 38s that the U.S. Navy uses as their close-in weapons defense, the 25mm Bushmaster. And the thing that's remarkable about this picture is the sheer number of these weapon systems that are on the broadside. You can even see they've got gun ports built around the superstructure. Most of these guns are on exterior decks, but in this picture you can see at least 3 machine guns sticking out of gun ports, almost like an old broadside ship like HMS Victory. And at least one of those guns is firing. In addition to the 3 guns sticking out of gun ports, you've got 2 more in more open positions on the main deck, and 2 more in the superstructure on the what looks like the O2 level. In addition to some rocket launchers, vertical launch tubes for anti-air missiles and other types of missiles as well, and a couple of Gatling gun systems like the one seen forward in this picture, or these ships also carry some more mounted back aft, and even a Russian Pantsir anti-air missile system. Either Russian produced or at least Russian inspired, I should say. And that's one thing to keep in mind with the weapon suite of this ship. North Korea has been supporting the Russian invasion of Ukraine with North Korean produced artillery shells and with troops. And in exchange for that, Russia is providing military equipment to North Korea, which probably involves some of the weapon systems on this ship, some of the radar systems on this ship, and certainly a lot of their recent experience. A lot of that recent experience revolves around drone warfare. Russia is both one of the world's leading operators of drones and also one of the world's leading recipients of drone attacks. So they have a tremendous amount of operational experience, both operating these and defending against these types of systems. And really what has come out is that using high-end, expensive systems to try and shoot down mass drone attacks is not an equivalent exchange. And you run out of missiles long before the other guy runs out of drones, and you can't afford to replace the missiles as quickly as the other guy can afford to replace the drones. So you see a lot of troops on the front today just carrying around shotguns and dealing with drones with machine guns and things like that to really low-end, last-ditch defensive systems. And honestly, I expect to see navies around the world going in that direction. We recently saw several Iranian warships sunk by American missiles and drones. We've seen Russian ships in port struck by drone attacks. Some countries might go the high-end approach that the United States is going by trying to develop laser systems to shoot down those drones and trying to supplement their existing systems with those. Or they might do like the United States has done fighting the Houthi rebels in Yemen and just shoot really expensive missiles at those drones. But neither of those options are really available to most navies out there. So I've been saying for a while that I expect to see a proliferation of anti-aircraft guns being added back to ships to be able to engage drones, both as a cheaper way of doing it, a way to deal with massed attacks without being overwhelmed, and as an option that absolutely anybody can use. It's not the high-end 40mm railgun the Japanese are inventing, or the lasers that the United States and China are starting to try and develop and put at sea. This is something that is attainable right now. It's relatively easy to go and bolt anti-aircraft guns all over any available deck space on your ship. We see that happen with ships like New Jersey during World War II, where her anti-aircraft battery balloons up during the war, and then in peacetime a lot of it comes off, and as weapon systems changes and technology advances, more come off. But right now, at this moment in time, before things like lasers and other systems become developed, you would really expect to see more systems like these added. And it is interesting to me that it seems like North Korea is leading the field in this sort of system. Now, is it perfectly done? Is it a sign of a healthy Navy? No, not necessarily. Looking at how these guns are in gun ports and other places, they have really restricted arcs of fire. They're not really ideal placement of guns. Drone attacks from the bow or from overhead or from the stern won't face nearly as much firepower as from the broadside. Again, North Korea is probably doing this because they don't really have the capability of fielding those more capable systems. They're fielding lots of systems because individual systems just aren't accurate enough to do it themselves, but maybe enough mass firepower will work better, which is the U.S. Navy philosophy during World War II, 80 years ago. But I've been saying for a while that I really expect to see this sort of weapons proliferation, and North Korea appears to be the first country to do this. When these ships first start to complete about a year ago and start to do their testing, they don't have all these systems on board. But now, after spending some time absorbing lessons from the war in Ukraine, it looks like North Korea has made changes to their ships to try and deal with that sort of threat. So, what do you guys think? Are the North Koreans actually leading the field right now in a cheap, fieldable response to drones? Or are they really out of touch and backwards? Let us know in the comments section down below. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, as well as from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate your support. There's a link in the description below for ways you can donate to support the museum. You can also support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find out about the museum and our channel. Thanks for watching.